Hey, Riot podcast friends.
We've got a lot in the podcast today. We do a Riot food fight.
Yeah, dude, we have a great time today. It's Women Crush Wednesday, so get a chance
Well, you
to
tattle on the woman in the room.
Well, sharing the facts.
Okay.
Is what we're doing here. We talk about itchy skins. Justin Bieber might be a weird one, but just being honest.
Just go with it.
We also talk the amazing food fight. Amazing Arizona.
I'm so glad he sent that picture.
It's really great.
I don't go to Arizona as much. I usually would stop by Arizona on the way. I have family in Southern California. And so I stopped taking that flight path. So I don't go to Arizona. But next time, if I could, I'm going to Arizona.
You do now. So you guys enjoyed today's podcast. And we'll see you, what do you think, tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Don't say anything. Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it. Okay.
But I will say, if you check out the Riot Food Fight for the sauce edition that we have in this podcast and you want to actually watch the Riot Food Fight, you have that. It's available on our Facebook page, which is at RadioU, and it's also on our RadioU Riot YouTube channel, which you can subscribe and check out our other videos too.
All right. Well, you
Enjoy
guys
the day.
have a fantastic whatever it is.
Bye-bye.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riots.
All right, Nikki. Gym day 3 for the week?
Yes.
Okay, so how's that going for you?
Good. You know, there's sometimes like, when you work out so early in the morning, the energy.
No, I don't feel that.
I have not experienced that yet, but I have a really good time. So I like doing it. I don't mind.
So that sounds like something that could be habit forming because you're not excited about it.
Pretty much. I'm not too crazy about it, but I understand how great it's been to have it done before I have everything I have to do during a day.
Sure.
And I was always mad because I would never have enough time, and then you just wouldn't do anything. So if I get it done before, I made time. I just got up earlier. I made time.
Actually, do you know how you make time? You sleep less.
You sleep less.
That's what making time actually is.
So I think my ultimate goal, though, the rest of this week is I have got to go to bed earlier to balance out missing the hour of sleep that I'm missing.
Okay, so you're in the gym for a full hour?
No, it just takes me an extra hour to get up and make it all work.
Yeah, that's the only thing about the morning workouts is they're probably not really, they're not as long as my afternoon workouts used to be, so I'm probably not getting as much exercise. The other side of it is, as Nikki said, there's such crazy freedom in being like, oh no, that's done. I couldn't possibly.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I'm a good time.
Okay, well, I was wondering because when we talked about you working out in the mornings, I think it happened one time, and then you got crazy sick.
Well, it happened. Yeah, it happened one time, one morning, and then I got whatever that cold was, and then I took a week off, even though they're like, oh, it's above the neck, you can go. I was like, no, I'm not going, for the sake of everybody else there. And so I started on Monday.
Okay, so you're back at it, day 3.
Day 3. But I'm not counting anymore. Who's counting?
No, that's fine. And again, it's your lack of enthusiasm that tells me you're probably going to stick with it.
Yeah, it's been good. And there's a nice gym crowd, and everybody seems really nice. We all understand what we're doing there at that time, and it's been good.
Yeah, because if you came in here pumped about it, I'd be like, we won't see the end of the week.
I can only last a few more days.
Yeah, I think you might be in the middle of forming a habit right now.
I am.
All right.
You'd think that after all these years of hearing me make fun of the riot, people would have stopped listening by now. Maybe it's one of those can't stop staring at a train wreck situations. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Let's talk about the things you do.
Me? Oh, why do we have to talk about things?
I feel like we need to. Because today is focus. It's Women Crush Wednesday. So, Nikki, because everyone has a crush on you, we've talked about your exercise habits, and now we need to talk about your
spending habits.
Your spending habits.
Well, does it make it better that it was a gift?
From who?
My mom. I got the new AirPods, the ones that have the wireless charging on them, and they're wonderful.
Tell them why.
What do you mean?
That you couldn't have the same pair of headphones.
Well, no, I mean, these are newer, and they're better, and they've got longer battery life.
But you're keeping the old ones.
I'm keeping the old ones, so I keep that in my gym bag, and then the other ones are for use for, like, at home and at work.
Everyday wear.
Everyday wear, that sort of thing. The wireless charging's impressive. It got a little warm, the case.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was afraid it would get a little warmer, but it did not. So if it stays at that current heat temperature, I think we should be okay. But that's just an FYI. It gets warm.
You know how you could track the temperature on those AirPods to see how hot they're getting?
I could use that.
Remember when you made fun of Eric and I for getting that laser thermometer?
It's a laser thermometer. I have it in the kitchen.
It's freaking fantastic.
I could track it.
At any moment that you want to find out how hot something is, you can, and it's awesome.
Well, it's the same mat that I charge my phone on.
Yeah.
So, and my phone doesn't get hot when I charge it.
Yeah.
So when I picked it up the first time, I was like, wow, that it's not like too hot. It's not like, remember back in the day, the Xboxes?
Yes.
Like it could heat your room up.
Yeah.
It was just warm enough. I thought maybe that'll be an issue down the road.
I wonder if this could catch our house on fire.
Yeah.
If they were a gift, it's fine.
It's okay, but you're a little concerned, but it didn't get any hotter than that, so I watched it. But yeah, they're wonderful.
Okay, they're wonderful. Why?
Because.
Okay, well, what I want to know is, aside from, longer battery life and the capacitative charging.
Most of the newer features, I haven't really had a chance to, like the longer battery life. I haven't had it long enough to experience the longer battery life.
Okay.
But the wireless charging is amazing. You can buy just the wireless charging case.
For your existing
For
AirPods.
your existing AirPods, if you want.
And what about, sound quality?
I didn't notice too much of a difference. And I feel like it felt a little different in my ear, but design-wise, I can't even tell either.
Okay.
But they're just like the normal ones.
I will tell you, I feel little twinges of jealousy at times when I'll be like in a store or something and I see someone with one AirPod in, and I'm just like, dude, that's awesome. Well, because it's so, it's just so discreet.
Yes.
Whereas, all of my wireless headphones they either are connected. So, you've got two earbuds, but they still
got a line
wire
between them,
even though they're wireless, which, is fine. They're great. That's what I use in the gym and stuff. But I'm just like, man, you're basically stealthing your podcast right now. It's so great. And
put your hair over your ears and no one knows.
I can't do that, but I'm sure it's great.
Yeah, if you have longer hair.
Well, and the other thing that I think is funny is how often I see AirPods. I'll check out at a gas station or go whatever, and clerks just have one AirPod in. And I'm like, you know what? I would so do that.
Just like in class.
I would so do that.
Like the one you're in.
Once again, there just wasn't enough material for Best of the Riot. Actually, there wasn't any Best of the Riot at all. None. Zero. Look, it's all bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's the worst. RadioU.
I gotta tell you, the future is, because we live in the future. You don't think we do. You're like, no, it's the present. No, trust me, this is the future. It's 2019. I've got to catch a car to the moon colony later today, right?
Not quite where we're at.
I'm telling you that this is the future, and the future is hugely disappointing. And I give you this example. Today I went to McDonald's. I got myself a sausage McMuffin because I wanted to make sure that there was no, I was in a calorie deficit and I might lose weight. So I tried to get a high-fat breakfast to follow my workout to make sure that didn't happen.
Fats. It's high good fats.
Yeah. And so I was sitting there at McDonald's with, I love this, they couldn't really be quite bothered to turn the menu on, but I know they're open. So you pull up and you're like, I don't know what you guys serve, but get me a muffin.
Is that the equivalent of someone's making a delivery and you make sure the lights are off in the house and it's like they know someone's home, but you're trying to pretend you're not home?
Something like that.
They don't want to work.
So sitting at McDonald's this morning, I was like, this menu sucks, but this is not the right answer. It's not. This is the disappointing future we live in. When I talk to you about artificial intelligence, AI, don't you think about stuff where I'm going to have my own robot and it's going to talk to me and we're going to be best friends, or it's going to kill us all like in the Matrix, and you think of all these cool, amazing things that AI can do. McDonald's just bought a company that is a machine learning company called Dynamic Yield. They paid supposedly about $300 million for this company.
Oh, is it for their drive-through stuff?
This AI machine learning company, the first thing they want to do with the AI is have it arrange the menus.
What do you mean?
Meaning, so for example, let's say that it's 95 degrees outside. The AI would be like, oh, dang, Big McFlurry ad today on the...
us would be smart enough to tailor the menu, digital menu.
Maybe even so far as tailoring the digital menu to you personally.
So if you
at
roll
some
up
point,
and-
once McDonald's completely has all your life stored away.
Well, say you have the app on your phone or something, and you roll on through, and you've allowed it to have liberties with your information. It knows you're
in
there.
exchange for a free small fry.
Yeah, basically. And it knows who you are, and it says, oh, this person likes the Big Mac, and then there's the ad.
So does the HAL 9000 fly you to Jupiter? No, it doesn't. It helps sell you French fries.
That's smart, though. They know what to do.
That's the part that bums me out about it. It all makes sense. And it's just like, man, the future sucks. Really, all that it does, the only thing that drives innovation is them trying to sell you something.
That's what they're there for.
So like, hey, wireless charging, because it's so hard to plug this in. Just set it down. Don't plug it in. They're like, hey, we're going to take vast machine learning technologies that could propel humanity into a bright future, and we're going to sell you McFlurries.
When it's hot out. Yes, I think that's a smart idea.
Man, what a bummer the future is.
No.
Yes.
No.
Let's get real, Nikki.
No.
This is the dark, dystopian future we all knew was coming.
McDonald's buying that stuff keeps that company alive so then it can work in other areas too.
Oh, man. Pretty soon they're just going to be McSoylent. That's what Nick says.
Some have said that if you just keep listening to The Riot, you'll learn to love them. Has that really worked for anybody yet? Has anyone tested that? It's The Riot on RadioU.
Be really careful the friends that you hang out with when you're bored, because people do come up with things to do. They will occupy their time.
Might not be the best choices, but it'll take up the time.
I mean, for example, I had a friend that tried to convince us to go to this like really old cemetery and dig up a dead body.
See, you wouldn't want to be a part of that, would you?
And it was one of those things where it's late at night and you're bored and he starts talking and pretty soon you're like...
And if your friend is charismatic enough, then you could be convinced to do something that you actually don't want to in the light of day.
They start selling it to you and you're like, that's it. No, we are not doing this. I am the last holdout of civilization against your madness.
We're not doing it.
We are not doing this. Now, fire up Smash Bros. We're going again. We are not going to the cemetery to dig up a body. And that's kind of the conversation I feel like these guys should have had with each other. Daniel and James, they were friends from college, and they decided to just see, hey, how well can we do out on our own? So they went into the Malaysian jungle with a first aid kit, a camera, because, I mean,
to document it.
You gotta take pictures, and something else.
Now, were they from the area? Were they tourists or what?
No, they're from the UK, as I understand it. And so they say they spent 3 days, 3 weeks in the Malaysian jungle. They went in naked.
Jeez, what are they doing?
They wanted to see if they could survive.
Yeah, but you don't have to take your clothes off for that.
Well, they literally wanted to see, like, hey, if we go in with nothing,
how long
what can we
they
come
make
out
it?
with? They went in, let's see, they had mosquito nets, a machete, a first aid kit, and, you know, the one guy had a camera. He's got a GoPro here. The thing that I wonder about, too, is, like, he's got like a 35 millimeter and a GoPro. I haven't seen the videos anywhere. So I don't know what the story is there. But the other question I have is, maybe they have a third camera, but looking at this, there's a picture of the two of them standing there with their fig leaves. It's real. And he's got his GoPro and his camera, and it's a picture of the two of them. So that means either somebody came out and took the picture.
Well, or maybe they had it when they were starting off.
Yeah, maybe they did. So anytime you watch a survival TV show and they're like, we're dying, we can't make it. And you're like, someone's holding the camera pretty steady.
And they're fine. They're making it.
They seem to be doing okay.
I always think of that when I see, like, oh, this person is diving with these sharks. How scary. And it's like, well, the cameraman has a camera and he's obviously more occupied. And
plus, this isn't live.
Yeah,
so
he's not just, they're not lying.
The footage came out of the situation, went into an edit bay, and has made it to me. It must not be that bad.
I've seen some ads, like, isn't there some sort of survival show, and they always seem to be naked on it?
Yeah, there actually is. What is that? naked and afraid.
Something. Maybe they were trying to do their own version of that.
Yeah, maybe they were. But they said that it was pretty bad. They said, and I quote, you could step on a snake and not know it. And he said, dang, this is how idiots die in the wild and are never found.
Yes, it is. I'm surprised they were 3 weeks later.
So they finally, at the end of 3 weeks, they put their clothes back on. It was a 2-day walk back to civilization.
Hold their big boy pants back up.
Well, they weren't so big anymore. Between the two of them, they lost 26 pounds.
Whoa!
Yeah, and they said the worst part about it was being cold at night.
Aww.
Because the thunderstorms would come through, and they said that they were freezing.
And none of that was necessary.
That exactly. See, the thing is, like, I want to go face nature. You know what? Other people faced nature, so I don't have to. That's great.
Good point.
They said that you'd be surprised what you can do to survive. Okay. Good for them, I guess.
Is there a book coming out of this or something? Or what are they doing with it?
I'm looking for the YouTube channel, but I still haven't found it yet.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on RadioU.
This is going to sound weird. I even feel weird about admitting it, but I'm just going to go ahead and get it out there. I am developing what I might call a begrudging respect for Justin Bieber.
Okay.
I don't really care for his music, just to be honest with you, but he's been fascinating to watch because I've been, amazed by the fact that from the time he was like just a kid, you know, how long's his music career been? Maybe 10 years, something like that?
Oh, I feel like it might be more.
Think about this. Imagine being 15, having all the money you could want to do whatever you want, and you're surrounded by people that won't tell you no. They won't tell you no. And you've grown up that way. Let's say you spend 10 years with money to do whatever you want and no one will ever tell you no. That to us sounds like absolute paradise, but that is hell on earth. You know it is. Not at first.
Not at first is great.
No,
but then...
not at first. But like at some point you start to realize something that I think is true of all of us, but we're not able to indulge it the way somebody like Justin Bieber would be. And we find out that one of the most tyrannical, awful rulers in the universe, maybe the most tyrannical, is ourselves. Like, man, when you can't control yourself, when you just do what you want, when you want all the time, the worst. It's the worst. And here's the thing you find out. Hey, we've been there, right? You're like, I can stop anytime until you try to stop. And then you're like, I can't stop. Wait a minute. I'm free to do as I please. I can't stop. That it's a little funny, but like it's not funny. And for a lot of us, we're not free to indulge what we want because we don't have the money.
So you might
we
not
don't have the time.
Find yourself at that point.
Right. Other people are stepping in and forcing you to exhibit some self-control. But imagine a world where you didn't have to have any at all. You could literally do what you want. No one tells you no. Everybody loves you. Boom. So I've been watching this guy, and he has had to come to terms with some things. He's gotten married, and he just announced that he's going to be taking a break from music because he has some things that he needs to work through. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but we might do well to follow his example. Maybe we need to take a break. Maybe we need to step back, because what are the things in your life that you're like, man, I'm just not, I'm not doing it. Like, I can't seem to make this work. I can't whatever. Justin Bieber has started a relationship with Jesus and is stepping back a little bit. Again, can't believe it's weird to be saying it. But like, I've been watching him, and oddly enough, I've been praying for the guy because I'm just like, man, I think as easy, quote unquote, as he's had it, I think that guy has it hard. But I also think he is coming to terms with the exact same thing that you and I need to come to terms with. We think that if we could just do whatever we wanted when we wanted, it would be the best. But I think you and I all need saved from ourselves. I think inside each and every one of us is somebody that needs to be set right. And look, if you're like me, I can say that, maybe I can't say that about you, but I can absolutely exert that truth about myself that, hey, there's somebody inside me that is tyrannical and ugly and is capable of great things, but terrible things too. And that's one of the great things about having a relationship with God, is that he helps me, one, rein myself in, and two, shows me what the heck to go do with myself as I'm reining myself in. Look, if you need help, if you're like, man, I vibe with that because I can't get a hold of myself, God wants to help you. Just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. And, man, I need you to help me live because I'm just not getting it right. And you know what? God absolutely wants to do that. He doesn't want to come in and boss you around, be mean to you, or belittle you. He wants to help show you a better way to do things because that's how much he loves you.
Waking up with the Riot makes your nightmares not seem so bad. Actually, you might want to just go back to sleep. RadioU.
So the RadioU 5K happens in Westerville, Ohio. It happens in May.
So you might be listening from RadioU like across the world.
Kalamazoo, and you're like, I can't make it.
Even not everybody can make it, but you can at least train and do a 5K like in your area.
Sure. And so I have not run since the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
It's been that long?
It has been. I have done, I've lifted. I've done the stair machine quite a bit, actually, getting ready for the Fight for Air climb last month. Yeah, last month. And so I've done different things, but I have not run.
So now you're ready to get back to it?
So I have to, and I have been very hesitant to start up again because I knew what I would face when I started running. You're like, oh, gosh.
What is it?
What is it?
Is it medical?
Well, kind of. I'll tell you what happens to me when I start running and I haven't been running for a while. I itch all over.
Really?
Intensely.
Is it your circulation or something? Or?
It's like it'll be like the back of my knees, like the inside, basically like my thighs, my quads, whatever.
Are you allergic?
No, I'm not. I finally have found out what this is. Basically, even though I've been lifting weights and whatever, when you start running, or this can go for anything, but like I start running and all of a sudden this itching starts. And what that is blood rushing to certain parts of your body.
Yeah.
And it's literally blood like flooding your capillaries in that area. And it's interesting reading about it is technically it's like you're not really itchy. Like what you're feeling is that sensation, and your brain is translating it
as an itch.
But what it is that blood rushing to that part of your body. And so you're like, oh my gosh, like it drives me insane.
How weird.
Yes.
I have never heard of that. I mean, obviously I've heard of if blood's rushing and, it might start itching there for a moment because that means it's active,
right.
But not like all over your body.
It's awful.
Weird.
Like, it is awful. And the thing is that I'm going to have to run multiple times
for it to go away,
to push through that and get away from it. And here's what I thought was fascinating is the sensation, everything that is happening neurologically, at least according to this article I'm reading, will continue to happen. So, like, I'm going to run, blood is still going to flow to those areas of my body, still going to flood those capillaries, et cetera, et cetera. But what starts to happen is that your brain starts to ignore it.
Oh, so it always happens, though.
That's what happens. It's not that everything continues to happen, but your brain goes, no, it's fine.
Sure.
Weird. And you just don't notice it anymore.
That is so odd.
Now, apparently, for me, that always happens with running, if I've taken a break from running, whatever.
Yeah.
But it also can happen with any kind of exercise, and it doesn't happen to everybody. But if you have not exercised in a while, like even if you're like, hey, I haven't done a bench press in like 5 years, I'm going to get on the bench.
And you get itchy, and
your
that's
chest
why.
could suddenly start to itch really bad, and that is blood rushing to that part of your body.
First off, our bodies are weird. And second of all,
amazing.
Like, why can't our bodies just get it? It's like, stop doing that.
Oh, it's annoying. And
bet.
Well, you have to, and I had to, you have to kind of like ask yourself the question, like, okay, it's a little weird to see somebody like scratching at the gym.
Why don't you take allergy pill or something for the first couple of times?
I don't think it would matter.
It would. Wouldn't it stop sending the signals?
I don't know. The last thing you want is for me to get up in the morning, take an allergy pill, and come in here and do this show.
Not a big one.
I will be on I'm already falling asleep just thinking about it.
That'll teach your body, though.
Yeah, that'll teach you.
Come on.
Hey, if you don't stop itching, we're going to go back to sleep.
Okay. Now you get in line.
Yeah.
You start acting the way you're supposed to act. How
Absolutely.
weird.
So I just thought I'd share that if anybody else has that problem. It's a real thing, even though it's kind of rare.
Odd thing.
Yeah, it is.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
This is arguably stupid, and yet, you know what?
You feeling it?
I can kind of see it. What do you think about this, Nikki? A tablet or phone arm mount for your desk. So you could just put your tablet like in
for your desk, though.
Yeah, I mean, of course you could probably do this to the side of your bed or something if you wanted to, but
so like during your day, your phone would just not be laying on your desk. You just want it up.
Yeah, so
it's like if you're in a car and you have a mount on your car.
Yeah, you could use it for stuff like, let's say that you do video blogging and your phone is what you use for that, or let's say that you do. Are
we out of ideas?
Well, the other thing I was thinking about is, like, honest to goodness, was for streaming.
Yeah.
One of the issues that I have is while streaming, it's hard for me to monitor the comments because of like just the way it's set up. And I wonder how good using the Facebook app it would be for monitoring comments.
Sure. And I mean, if you're multitasking at your desk and you've got work going on, but you can still have something going and you want to watch it like to the side, just put your phone up there.
You know, like if there was a series of games that you were super interested in that you had to.
Or someone shows like, if you're cooking and you want to put your phone up or something and you just have that on the table.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Now, see, here's the thing, though. Like, it's not on sale anymore, so, like, I'm out.
Oh, are you looking at the deals?
Yeah. And
I kind of feel like I want the one that still goes on your bed, but not like a table or a desk.
Okay. So, you're looking for the Binks tablet mount lazy iPad holder.
Pretty much.
That's
or, like, more for my phone.
That's like a telescoping. That looks like a mic arm for the studio, except it's for your tablet.
See, I feel like I would like one of those in bed, but I'm perfectly fine just holding I'll usually lay to the side and I'll watch something like YouTube or something on my phone, and I don't need a mic. I don't need an arm for that.
I'm still surprised you don't have one.
I know,
honestly,
right?
Because it seems to me like you to me are the perfect candidate for this.
Yeah.
Because
I have dropped my phone on my face so many times.
Yeah. She's got a scar there.
I got a little scar on my nose from it.
We call her Old Scar.
Behind
her back.
No. Oh, great. Just so mean.
And so, I
know.
This would be something that would help prevent that. Or it would make it even worse because then the arm would fall out and it would all come crashing down on your face.
And I don't want it to, like, dictate what I have to, like, how I have to watch it. Like, what if I want to lay to the right or I want to lay to the left? And the arm won't do that. And it's forcing me to be in a certain position, and I like to change it up. Like, what if I want to be on the other side of the bed or over here, over there?
Good call.
So I am in charge of how I'm watching my shows in bed.
You're absolutely right.
So that's why I haven't bought the mic arm or the phone arm.
Mm-hmm. It's good. So my bad.
Yeah. Now you can see why.
Yeah. So
even if it means I've hurt myself, even though I don't do it as much as I used to.
I love how Old Scar's like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and get those new headphones, but $20 for this thing so I can lay in bed and not have to touch my phone. Too much.
No, it's not as too much. I just don't want it to.
I'm not going to have somebody telling me where I'm going to put my phone.
Doesn't sound good when you say it that way, but deep down, yes, that's what I mean.
That's where it's at.
That is 100% what I mean. Unless, does anybody have one of those mounts near your bed and like it?
I don't think anybody's willing to admit to it. That's what I think. I think a lot of people have them.
If you text us, though, there's no judgment that way. No one will really know.
There is judgment. You already said. Like, I feel like you have prejudged, and now you're like, oh, no, I won't judge it.
I would have to find the right arm to use.
If you want to know the truth.
Which I have one. It's my actual arm.
Here's what I think happened. I think Pixar ruined these for all of us.
Why?
Because they showed the fat people in the floaty chairs with the tablets and Wall-E. And so now we can't have nice things.
We can't have things that actually would make it a better and more enjoyable experience.
We can't have floaty chairs, we can't have big gulps, and we can't have arms for our tablets.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, Pixar.
Thanks for ruining it.
Really appreciate it.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
Here on this show, we've had occasion to talk about mannequins this week.
We have.
And
is there an update on the guy, or is this a news story?
No, that's the part that gets me. All this mannequin talk has come from one particular guy, and it all comes down to he had to lower his fence because of some homeowners association rules.
Someone complained and told on him. He had already built the fence.
And so he lowered the fence, but on the other side of the fence, he bought a bunch of mannequins and have them naked having a garden party.
And that was just a seat provided for the person who told on him.
Yeah.
And that was how he was responsibly mature, in a mature way, responding to him having to follow the rules.
Yeah. Well, you know how everybody's looking for Florida man these days?
Mm-hmm.
I got a guy here in Florida, unrelated to the man and his mannequin party, who he had a mannequin of his own.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Nikki, Mikkel lives with his mom.
Uh-huh. That's fine.
He's 40.
Well, it's harder to say that's fine then, but it's okay.
Sometimes you got to move back in. Hard
Helping
times.
The mom.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's it. But see, I don't think that's what it is.
But you can just say to make it feel better.
I don't think that's what it is, and I'm going to tell you why. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. The mannequin. Oh, I got ahead of myself. The man, Mikkel, he was outside with his mom, and he was like, "You need to dress my mannequin." And she refused to put clothes on the mannequin for him.
So he has a mannequin like in his room?
It was
in the house?
It was outside, I think.
Oh, outside with him?
Because she was like, "I'm not doing this." And he's like, "Yes, you are." And she's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Yes, you are. You will put clothes on the mannequin."
So he's yelling at his mom.
It probably has a name, and I don't know what the name is. Sarah! And...
sorry, Sarah's listening.
She was like, "I'm going in the house." So he was like, "No."
Did he hurt her?
No. Well, not yet. There's a lot here.
There's steps to this?
Okay. So she wants to go back in the house. He runs up and blocks the door.
Yeah.
And she's just
of her
like,
house.
Oh my gosh. So she does what is, I just got to tell you, probably my favorite thing that's happened all week. Probably my favorite thing. She runs back out into the yard and pushes the mannequin over.
Yes! That is so amazing. Way to go, Mom.
So
that is how you do that.
What do you think he does?
He pushes her over?
He rushes out to save the mannequin.
Oh, my gosh. I can't hear this stuff.
Which then enables her to run into the house.
Yeah, and lock him out.
Once he saves his mannequin friend.
Oh, gosh.
He runs into the house, and then he wrestles his mom to the floor.
Oh, it's your mother.
And begins forcing her to eat, wait a second, what was it? Dumplings that they were going to have for dinner.
What is your problem? So now has he been arrested?
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's in trouble.
Get out of the house.
A neighbor heard the woman screaming for help, called 911. And
that must be the worst when that's like your son. That's supposed to be someone who's helping you, not who has chosen to love the mannequin more than you.
I can't imagine.
Won't get out of the house.
The closest I've ever gotten to a physical altercation with my mom was, and I mean,
were you like a kid? Probably.
I was, and she was going to smack me. And she's the one that was taking me to karate classes. So when she started to smack me, I blocked it. That did not go well.
That's not how you do that.
I'll tell you that.
Well, at least you could have told.
I should have just taken the hit.
But you could have told her, it's like, I'm at least learning at
Mom,
karate what you're sending
Mom,
me.
I'm sorry you're mad at me, but look at what your investment is paying off.
I'm learning it.
Yeah, it's happening. Send the floor.
I'm going to be a karate master.
Let's go watch Karate Kid again. I love you.
Well, that's one thing, and it's way different than the guy in his mannequin.
Yeah, so he's in trouble.
Well, now he's going to lose. He's going to not be able to have the mannequin with him.
Just a heads up, everybody. And I know this sounds judgmental, but I feel like, sometimes wounds from a friend, right? As your friend, I just want to tell you, if you have a mannequin at home and it's more than just for a display purpose.
It's for work.
It's time for you. It's time to reach out and meet some people.
Kyle in Arkansas says, come on, man. Why Sarah? His wife's name is Sarah. So now he's going to have to associate this story and his wife.
So, Kyle, where'd you pick your wife up at? Amazon?
Should have picked
we saw mannequins for only $50.
Should have picked a different name.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from Mickey D's. the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Have we done a food fight with just like sauces before?
Well, one time.
One time?
You remember what it was?
What was it?
It was during the Riot's live event when we had all the chicken McNugget sauces.
Oh, you're right. We celebrated our anniversary. I think it was not our most recent one, but the one before that. And we tried as many chicken nugget dipping sauces as possible. But for today, we've got a different take on that.
Yeah, now today's really... The founder of the feast is this guy right here. I've got his email. His name's John. And John sent us, Nikki, do you have it over there?
Yes, it's the sweetened with honey. Now, you like Heinz the most, right?
That's because it's
Is that the
best.
only type? Okay, so the Heinz sweetened with honey, reduced sugar, tomato, ketchup.
Okay.
And John was so cute. He texted us like a photo of it and was like, I'm sending it. So he did for us to try because you mentioned you want to try... Or you want everybody to realize that Heinz is your ketchup of choice.
Well, everyone already knows that because they know that I only like the best.
Correct. That's the only one you'll go with.
So that's obviously
So thank you, and that's one we'll try.
Okay, so thank you, John, for saying that. We're going to start with that, but then that started us down this whole thing where we were looking for, and I think it was Kyle that sent us the picture of the chicken dipping sauce, and so we're just going down the sauce line, right?
We're just going to try sauce.
All right. So
you want to do the ketchup first or the chicken dipping sauce?
No, let's start with the ketchup.
Okay, I didn't know it will be too overpowering.
Well, with these, and I'm using Ruffles as a...
as your delivery device? Boy, just ketchup. Aren't we having a good time? With honey?
It does have a different taste.
Wow, that's a weird taste.
It
But
does.
what is
It's
it?
a little...
Well, I mean, I know it's honey. I do know what it is, but why does that taste so different? Like, how do you describe it? It's not bitter.
It's a little more vinegary, actually.
That would be it.
Than what
and
you would get.
You really get it at the end. You get a lot of vinegar at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
How much less sugar is in it? Like, is it worth it?
I don't know. What does it say on there?
3 grams of sugar per tablespoon.
Okay.
But I don't know how that compares to a normal ketchup.
Well, just to give you a point of comparison, I don't know about regular ketchup, but I do know the sauces we're about to try. They say their serving size is 2 tablespoons.
You get
and
more.
there's 6 grams of sugar.
Sure. So it's about usually
it's
that.
the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
This is a sweetened with honey. Did Hudson like it? He tried it already.
Hudson said he didn't think it tasted any different.
Didn't?
It actually, okay, if you want to know the truth, it tastes more like generic ketchup.
Yeah.
Because generic ketchup has a flavor that Heinz doesn't have. Heinz is a little more salty and has a kind of a thicker, richer kind of flavor to it.
Bolder.
Sorry.
Bolder
I'm just telling,
flavor.
That's how I describe it.
It feels like you just get a little bit in the back. That last little lingering part of it.
Okay, so Nikki, up next
Did you like how I put the sauces on the plate?
You
didn't say anything about it. I put the ketchup in the middle like a line dividing the honey mustard sauce and the chicken dipping sauce.
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to draw attention to it or not.
Oh, yeah. I worked on that.
Okay.
I could have just been boring, but I did something special.
When you say that you worked on it, how much do you feel like you worked on it?
Well, they always say plating. It's you eat with your eyes. So
I don't, but it's fine.
All right, which other sauce do you want to try?
So let's do this chicken dipping sauce. Now, here's the deal. We had a few people that sent this in, and they were like, hey.
It's from Walmart.
This is generic Chik-Fil-A sauce from Walmart. And I got to tell you, Chik-Fil-A sauce is good.
So Chick-fil-A sauce, I've not had it before, but is it like honey mustard and barbecue sauce kind of mixed together?
Kinda, yeah.
So that's the darker orange circle on your plate, Obi.
Okay.
Just to let you know which one it is.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I sincerely, yeah.
I don't like that sauce. I don't like that one.
Okay.
It's definitely barbecue and honey mustard. That is what a Chick-fil-A dipping sauce is, because you can taste both of them.
Guys, that's pretty darn close.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not my sauce choice.
Yeah. Now, the first, my initial hints of flavor there, I'm not as crazy about.
Yeah. But for at home, if you're not near a Chick-fil-A,
actually,
is it pretty spot on?
That is weird. That is so stinking close. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then, just for good measure, here's the other thing that we've thrown in. Nikki has been for years telling me about Sweet Baby Ray's honey mustard.
Well, we like Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce because we buy it at Costco, and that's the one they carry. It comes in like a 2 giant pack.
I just want you to know that Sweet Baby Ray and I go way back farther than going
Costco?
for multi-packs at Costco.
I didn't know that. That's why I buy it, because it's there. And they have a honey mustard. If I was given a choice, I would go over a honey mustard. I like that tastes better than like a ketchup or the chicken sauce from like Chik-Fil-A.
But we don't know that yet, because now we got to lay it out and try it.
Hey, I've had this sauce many times, but I do like their honey mustard sauce. It's really good.
Oh, that'll do, pig.
Isn't it? Isn't it smooth and not too much mustardy? It's nice. Not too much. Just right that sweet spot.
Oh, Pleasure Center's just firing.
Isn't it? I thought you would lie. That's why I always told you, like, why have you not tried their honey mustard?
Actually, it tastes a lot like, and I realize there's probably this. They may even be the same. Though this got a little tang to it. Bob Evans says a honey mustard.
Oh, is it like that?
It's salt in a jar. Very similar. Though this might be better.
It's good.
I like the little zip at the end.
It's good. It's good on chicken.
All right.
It's really good.
Well, I'm sorry to John, who paid money out of his own pocket and shipped us the ketchup.
The ketchup is, I mean, it is good, but it's so good because John sent it to us.
Well,
but
yeah.
If he didn't have anything to do with it, it would just be okay.
I'm not buying it again.
So
but I'll tell you right now, this chicken dipping sauce, buying again.
So that is the generic chicken dipping sauce from Walmart, which is supposed to be a dupe of Chick-fil-A's sauce. And then Sweet Baby Ray's honey mustard. That's the winner. I knew it. I knew you would like it.
Hallelujah.
That's our conclusion of this dipping sauce riot food fight.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you know what? I'm glad. I got a whole bag of chips and 3 bottles of sauce. Guess what?
Someone's dipping the well, that sounds bad. You're dipping the rest of the morning.
You bring me my spittoon.
I know, that's what it makes. That's not what he's doing. It's sauce dip.
The Riot is now accepting applications for a staff pastry chef. Please drop your resumes and an example of your work at the studio door, and we'll get back to you. Wink, wink. The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, why is it
Aww.
that there's this wonderful place?
And I've not been there?
Did you even know about it?
I don't think so.
What?
I've heard, some people have told me about, I think there's one near like Montana or something, and there's one in like upper Michigan. There's these fair places.
It's like right up near Canada.
But I've been to Arizona
Top of the mitten.
many times, but I've never been to Bearizona.
Bearizona, Nikki. Steven from Springfield, he sent us a picture of him and his wife in Bearizona.
They went on the way to the Grand Canyon. I've been to the Grand Canyon.
Which means you've been in the vicinity
of Bearizona, and I never stopped there.
So, Nikki, I've been doing some research on Bear.
Stephen, I want to say it was cute. He said it thought it was my kind of place, and you're right.
It is her kind of place. So I'm looking here at Bearizona.com. Which is Arizona with BE in front of it, in case you're trying to figure it out. And you got a couple of options here. You can walk through Bearizona. They have like a walk-through area. They have a drive-through area.
Yeah, he said that section was neat.
And then they have a birds of prey area, which you don't want to go through unguided because they'll attack you.
He said the walk-through area is kind of like a regular zoo.
Right. But the drive-through, you could see the bears in their native caged environment.
Where they live in Bearizona.
Fantastic.
I just want to hold a baby bear. That's it. And I'm going to say this. I would like to hold a baby panda bear or a baby polar bear. That's the biggest goal.
Oh, man.
That's the bears of choice. And I'll take any bear. Any baby bear will do, but that's the ultimate goal.
So I find myself...
Ultimate goal is a polar bear, a baby polar bear.
I find myself wondering a couple of things. Like, I see Nikki in heaven holding a baby polar bear, and she's like, oh, thank you, Jesus, finally, whatever. Or I see Nikki holding a baby polar bear, and then that's how she gets to heaven.
What do you think comes first?
I'm not sure.
I don't need the big polar bear. I know my odds would be terrible. I wouldn't live. But I just want a baby polar bear.
You know that baby polar bears come from big polar bears.
One that was lost and wandering, and we save it. as a group.
You want to kill the mom and then steal the baby?
Didn't say that. Didn't say that at all. I want to help reunite the baby polar bear with the mommy bear.
Who will not understand that you're not the one that stole it?
Well, from a distance. I'll be in one of those like buggies, those tundra buggies.
Where you can see the polar bear trying to eat the person under it.
I will hold the baby polar bear as we take it to go back to its family.
Okay.
That's just my bucket list.
You know you're in the wrong career for that, right?
I am, right? Totally.
We need to start discussing a
How about a RadioU polar bear channel?
Well, what if you could just go work at Arizona, though?
I could.
Like, you could go out there. You know what, Nikki? People love you. So I imagine, like,
I could be the host.
You could. Absolutely.
I could be the tour guide.
Like, they have these daily bear shows. You could do that, like, hey, everybody, welcome to Arizona.
Welcome to Arizona. We're very glad that you chose to join us today.
My name is Nikki, and I am so excited to share my love of bears with you. I used to work in radio, and I decided I don't need to work with that man.
Anymore.
And I came out here where the only lip I'm getting is the lovely kisses from the little bears.
Oh, it just works perfectly, doesn't it?
Yep, I'm telling you.
It's so cute, Stephen. Thank you for thinking of me, and I'm glad you had a good time in Arizona.
Come on.
Yes.
Nikki, you're on.
Going to Arizona.
I'm so excited. When are we leaving? Later today?
Well,
Road trip?
I think it'd be good if I go first, just to kind of scout it out. I don't want you to go with your allergies of animals.
Good call, Nikki.
Until I know for sure that you'll be fine.
I'll be the designated survivor.
I promise I'll come back. Now, I got only a one-way ticket because it was cheaper.
Nikki leaves in khaki pants and with a big fedora, and you're like, oh, yeah.
She's never coming back.
She's coming back.
She's going to Arizona.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the Riot moment to Fire Obadiah at RadioU.com.
It's always good to hear from friends when they're going to eat donuts and you don't get any.
Oh, yay!
I love getting that text like, hey, we're getting 10 bits, thought of you. Didn't think to bring them to you to make sure you could have some, but...
Well, that's kind of like...
Here's a picture of me eating 10 bits.
That's kind of like when you guys are like going through the drive-thru and you snap a picture of your breakfast and send it to us. It's like... Well, we are glad you're getting what you wanted to get. We're not able to have any of it.
It's fine.
We did do a sauces food fight with potato chips, so it's not like we have nothing
And
here.
you guys didn't have any of that ketchup. And ketchup's very hard to find. You can't just get ketchup anywhere.
It was a different type of ketchup.
Okay, it was.
But yes, that's what it is.
So Tim Hortons, which is, again, where my friends are, getting 10 bits. It's fine.
At first, I felt like this would have been a Krispy Kreme thing.
I thought the exact same thing, but it's not.
It's not. It's Tim Hortons, and it's their Easter sort of specialty donut.
The Cadbury mini egg donut. Now, I got really excited about it.
Until saw what it is.
I saw what it was.
Basically, it looks like they just take the normal donut. It's covered in white fondant, green sprinkles, and finished.
You know, that's good.
Well, that's like an Easter basket sort of nest with the grass.
Yeah.
And then it's got 3 Cadbury mini eggs resting on the top. So that's all it is.
But here's the thing. When you say a Cadbury egg, I'm thinking about a Cadbury cream egg.
No, this is their mini eggs. It's like a candy egg.
It's basically an M&M. That's really what it is, because you got Cadbury chocolate with a candy shell, and then they like dust it or something, so it melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
They really wanted the donut to be filled with the egg cream from a Cadbury egg, but that's also not what it is.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
It's not going to be that way.
And I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you know, let's say, I don't know, your mom walked in here. And
sometimes
she was
brings
like,
in Timbits.
And she was like, hey, guys, I bought you these Cadbury donuts. I would be like, bless the Lord, oh, my soul. Yes. Come on. Come on. I'd be excited about it.
You would.
I would. But now going to Tim Hortons, you know what? You guys ready for a hard truth?
Should we come closer to the radio or what?
If you're not getting Timbits, what are you even doing there?
Well, see, people like the other styles.
Yeah, but they're wrong. Like, they're doing it wrong. They're wrong. If you want a donut, you got to go local.
The Timbits, though, are just like the leftover parts. It's the nugget of the donut world.
Well, you know what? I don't know what they're doing with to those nuggets, but that's the real joy of the donut world.
So if you are interested in the Tim Hortons Easter donut, you can find them through April 21st.
Okay.
So that's the timeline.
When is Easter?
Is it at the end of April? Middle of April?
Let's see. Let me pull up my calendar here so I can make Easter is April 21st.
That's when it ends.
So if you go on the 22nd looking for one of these donuts, they're just going to laugh at you.
Well, you can probably get leftovers still.
Laugh at you.
For a few more days.
Nah, maybe. So, yeah, because I don't think so, Nikki. They make them fresh.
Do they?
Those are fresh made daily.
That's a hard date of April 21st.
And I really want some donuts right now. But the good news is Nikki and I will just keep doing the show and then go up and sit at our desks and work quietly. Who needs donuts or fun?
Actually, that would help keep us quieter.
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. Radio U.
Dumbo.
Aw,
Wait,
the
stop.
movie.
It's not an insult. No one's calling you names.
Is the movie out this Friday or next week?
It's Thursday night, Friday morning.
So it is this week, though.
Right, it is this week. And as of right now, it's sitting at a fatty 52% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not good.
Is
it Disney?
It is a Disney
Disney?
movie. Yeah, and it is they say it's a remake / sequel to the original. So it contains the story of the original, but it goes past.
The kind of like the tone I kind of got from everything was that it just doesn't really connect and they try too hard during this Dumbo movie.
I have heard similar things. I've heard some people complaining, and I mean, critics, whatever, but they basically are like, hey, they're taking the story of Dumbo and they're pushing their
agenda.
Yes.
They always try to do that.
They're pushing very hard an agenda about animal rights and a couple of other things, which, let's be clear, we like animals, but they said that it really drowns out the movie.
Sure.
Now, does it really? I don't know. I mean, everybody's like, Captain Marvel, feminist agenda, blah, 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 whatever. It was a great movie, whatever. Maybe.
But they could be telling the truth about Dumbo.
They could be. Truth be told, I just don't care because I don't want to see Dumbo. I just don't. It's one of those things, these Disney live action remakes don't interest me.
I want to talk to somebody who does want to see Dumbo.
Me too.
Because I want to know, and text if that's you, but I never saw Dumbo. I've never seen the original.
I have.
I have no childhood memories trying to motivate me to see the live action version, which is what they've tried with Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella and the Aladdin one coming up. They want someone who saw the animated one to now go see that one.
Right. Well, Dumbo, my only memories of the original
Was it sad?
Really little, and I was sad.
Yeah.
That's what I remember about Dumbo. That's it.
Does Dumbo's mom die?
Doesn't she? Or doesn't she get locked in the thing?
Or is there something?
I don't know. I just remember being super sad about it. That's literally all I remember.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I don't want to see Aladdin either. And here's the thing. I loved Aladdin. Mm-hmm. The animated one, when I was a kid, I watched that a bajillion times.
Now, if it was an animated remake, would you be interested? Or is it just because it is live action?
I don't know. It's fine.
Has a different feel?
I don't know. I'm just not interested. I should be. I should be in the meaty part of that demo, right? I loved Beauty and the Beast. Didn't want to see the movie. I don't know. What I have a problem, guys. And you know what? I'm going to spend some time today meditating on Disney.
The studio would like you to work on that before it comes out later this week.
Eric says, me and my kids want to see Dumbo because of Danny DeVito.
Is Danny DeVito in it?
Yes, he's the ringmaster, I think.
And isn't it Colin Farrell?
Colin, yes.
Yeah.
Is in it, and so is the lady from Casino Royale.
Okay.
Ava Green? Is that right? Eva Green?
Sounds good.
I can't remember. And then...
of course, Dumbo.
Right, but he's just...
I know he is.
He's just CGI,
I know he
Nikki.
is, I know.
He's not a real elephant.
Hello? He's just the visualization of what we feel it would be.
See, Obadiah just unveiled he's got a real problem with elephants because he said he wasn't a real elephant.
Which is why he doesn't want to see it.
Yeah, so whatever. You know what? If Dumbo's your thing, I hope you have a great time watching Dumbo.
But review-wise and just its numbers not showing the best going into its weekend.
It's just not my thing.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
Do you feel that the Pink Ranger is as attractive this time as she was in the last iteration?